Travis County is working to balance its budget during an especially tough economic climate. The county is facing a deficit of more than $13 million.
Now, because of that, county leaders are asking every office and department to submit a list of proposals to try to cut their own budgets by about 5%. Joining us now to talk more about what led up to this shortfall is Travis County Judge Andy Brown. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We appreciate it. So we know the county has cited decreased revenue flexibility as well as increased health insurance costs as the two main specific factors that contributed to this hole in the budget. But talk about why those two things are creating such a pressure point.
Yeah, so in our budget cycle, we're in the forecasting part right now. So just like Rich, we have Jessica and Travis, who are our budget folks, that are saying, hey, this may come up in the fall when you vote on the budget. And so they're figuring out how to prepare for it now. And so luckily, they've been working at the county for a very long time. They do this every year. And state law requires that we always have a balanced budget. So that's not a risk. That's not on the table of not having a balanced budget. What they're looking at now are increased healthcare costs, something that we're seeing across the country with pharmaceutical costs going up, with the cuts that the federal government has made. We're seeing private health insurance go up, so we're not unique in that situation at all. We're also seeing a little bit of a dip in new construction in Travis County, and that's how the counties get new revenue, is the way that the tax system works. We get property taxes, our income. And if there's a lot of new construction, that means that we can add to our budget and do new programs. If there's not, then we have to stay flat. And so that's what we're preparing for at this point, is looking at those increased healthcare costs, figuring out how we're going to deal with that when it comes to budget time in the fall.
One other thing I wanted to ask you about was that popped up in the budget guidelines that the county had put out was about the county explaining the state legislature keeps pushing down some of the costs to the local level while also cutting off the needed revenue levers to be able to pay for those mandates from the state. So are there any specific examples that you can point to that illustrate that point?
Yeah, that's a favorite trick of this Texas legislature, is to tell us to do things but not to give us money to do it. One example, the most recent example, is installing flood sirens. Great idea, help warn people about flooding all across the state of Texas, including in Travis County. They are giving us basically $1 million to do that, but they also are telling us that we're going to have to maintain them, we're going to have to build them no matter how much they cost. They will likely cost a lot more than $1 million. But something that I've been working on more and that affects every single county in Texas is the county jail is the single largest mental health facility in every county in Texas, including Travis. And a lot of that is because the state hospital system, which is supposed to provide mental health care for indigent people across the state, is not doing its job. And so as a result, we're spending tens of millions of dollars every year housing people in our jail that should be getting mental health treatment. We're actually going about building a mental health diversion center ourselves that will help lower those costs, because the state hospital doesn't have the capacity. And it's something that the state continues to, they don't really want to pay for it. They don't want us to use state land to do that. At the same time, they're forcing those and other costs on local taxpayers.
You're thinking of ways to try and lower some of these costs, so we want to stick with that here. We mentioned the list of cuts that county departments may have to propose or come up with. We know you guys have also said you're committed to bringing programs and services, all the things that Travis County taxpayers expect from the county. So how do you go about that? What do you expect? How realistic do you expect those lists to become a reality? What kind of cuts might we see?
Yeah, so it's a tough situation in that we're seeing cuts at the federal government. I mean, they hit us hard over the last year since Trump has been president with just what seem to be just random cuts to health care services, to housing, to all the things that people expect, frankly, out of the safety net of the government, whether it's state, local, or federal. And that makes it hard for the city of Austin. It makes it hard for Travis County to step up where the federal government, frankly, is not doing what they're supposed to do. So we are going to continue to do that here in Travis County. We have asked our county staff to look to make sure that the things they're doing are as efficient as possible, to look at the possibility of a 5% cut. Again, we're not there yet. That would be something that we would address, that we would vote on in the fall. But this is just good public policy, in that our budget team is like, hey, we are seeing these things coming up in the future. We want the county to start looking at it. We want the county to start working with the city and working, frankly, with the state government to figure out what are things that we can do maybe together that we haven't done together in the past. because our job, again, as the government, is to help with that safety net, make sure that people have their needs met when they fall on hard times so that they can get back up and become, again, productive members of our economy. That's kind of what the government is supposed to do. So we're making sure that we're still able to do that. But yes, it's tough times, I think, in large part, in my opinion, from tariffs, other things the federal government is doing. Those have real effects here at the local level and making the economy a harder place for you and me.
So we have run out of time just for this interview. So we appreciate you coming in and having this initial conversation. Of course, there will be more things to come, but Judge Brown, thank you again for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks y'all very much for having me. Appreciate it.